I'm Dr. Jonathan Westover. I'm pleased to have an opportunity to share my thinking and some of what I'm involved with on campus related to the UN Sustainable Development Goal number 1, which is to end poverty in all forms everywhere. We actually do a lot on this campus to try to deal with poverty issues. In my role as Associate Professor of Organizational Leadership, I teach courses on organizational development and change, and one of the things that I do in my classes is that I have students work on consulting projects with local nonprofit agencies. Not all, but many of these projects specifically are geared towards issues of poverty, hunger, and focus on disadvantaged populations and individuals who may need extra. I try to involve my students with. I want them to better understand their civic responsibility and to be aware of social issues that are relevant to them in their community. And I also want to give them a chance to practice what they're learning in the classroom in terms of organizational development and change concepts and principles, consultancy competencies, and then they practice that through doing these consultancy projects in teams working with local nonprofits, dealing with a very real social need and helping to alleviate poverty. As Director of Academic Service Learning, I oversee the nearly 400 courses and sections across the curriculum, across all the different types of programs on campus that engage their students in community work. And so what I see is faculty from the humanities, philosophy, social sciences, dance and the arts, to the sciences, to business, all across campus, I see faculty engaging their students in meaningful community projects. But many of these projects coming from the English department or from tech management or any of these different areas, they deal specifically with trying to alleviate issues of hunger and poverty. There's many different types of poverty. There's situational poverty that occurs. This is when someone loses a job, or there's a death in the family, or maybe a divorce, maybe there's a natural disaster. There's some sort of occurrence that happens that results in an individual and or their family being in situational poverty. And with proper support, people can overcome that, usually fairly quickly. They can find that new job, they can stabilize their family situation, and we do many things around campus to help with situational poverty. For example, in the Center for Social Impact, we have a food pantry. That food pantry is available to not just students, but also faculty and staff on campus. But really anyone in the community can come and utilize that food pantry. A more perplexing type of problem is structural poverty as a result of institutions, government policies and practices, laws, that makes it difficult for individuals in the long term to get themselves out of poverty. And so much of the work of the Center for Social Impact is geared towards not just situational poverty, but also how do we help influence and inform the general population, but also through governance and politics, how do we help advocate for policies that will help end sort of long-term poverty. Part of the reason for this UN Sustainable Development Goal to end poverty is because 1 in 5 individuals across the world have to live on less than $1.90 a day. Now that's hard for us to even wrap our minds around here in the United States or here in Utah County. But if you are living in a world where you're trying to sustain life for you and your family on $1.90 a day or less, that's a huge hurdle. Whatever we can do to not just help locally, but help internationally for individuals who are in extreme poverty, I think that's very important. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity in my role, both as a professor, but also in working with the Center for Social Impact to be able to make a small impact on alleviating poverty in our local and international